Today is all about SAE Baja, or you could say it's SAE Baja Day here on Tomorrow Today. If you gentlemen were explaining SAE Baja to a friend or a colleague, how would you explain it? Jason, let's start with you, please.
Yeah, I would explain it as this is a place where you can take everything you're learning as an engineer and you get to put it into a real world experience. So, all your different mechanical engineering classes and stuff like that, everything you're doing in a book, now you get to put it into a practical sense. You get to build and create something. And then you get to go out there and the competition will show you all the things where you made bad assumptions. One thing with Baja is you don't really know the exact terrain that you're going to be designing for. So you're always trying to balance how much over do you think you need to design without adding too much weight to your car, and it's always a balance. And so when you get to these competitions, you might have extremely wet weather with lots of mud that can add 200-300 pounds to your car while you're out there. Did you design for that? Can you handle that much weight on your car when you go over a jump or when you hit a rock? So I think this is really it's that chance to really get feedback, and it's a lot of fun doing it. And so you get that feedback and you get to have fun.
When you're planning for the unknown, it reminds me when I speak with folks at DARPA and they do these very different challenges for military applications. They don't tell you where you're going to deploy it. They just say that you're going to deploy it. Is that a team effort to say, okay, we have to engineer for this or engineer for that, or wait, we don't want to over engineer for this or over engineer for that? Is that a team that comes together to make those decisions?
So I think different teams, they show up and they have different targets or goals they want to achieve. I remember several years ago out in Oregon, there was a team that showed up and they had a car on like 32-inch light truck tires that weighed a ton. And it was, the bottom of its roll cage was the top of most other roll cages. But their team goal was, I want to win the rock crawl. Like they weren't fast, they weren't maneuverable, but they went out and they achieved their team goal. They won the rock crawl. They annihilated the rest of the competition because of what they did, but it was that team said, this is what I want to do. So I think when each team comes together, they have to determine what is their goal of their car and their of the activity and the vehicle they want to build. Like Jason talked about, do I want to handle muddy conditions or do I want to plan for dry conditions because I think we're going to Arizona to the desert? Or, when I was in school many, many years ago, we did all three competitions. And one of the competitions back then used to be amphibious. So we had to have a car that was capable of being amphibious, but still be able to compete when we went out west to a desert environment, which made it challenging, for us. So then you're trying to decide, okay, what gear ratio, what tire size, what top speed do I go for, but still have low end grunt to pull a trailer or do a towing event. So these are all compromises the team has to decide, what do I want my car to be? Is it a Swiss Army knife, or is it going to be the best of one thing and I'm going to give up on other items? And those are decisions each team has to make.
I would say both of you gentlemen went through the Baja experience and you continue to participate as technical inspectors, and you're heavily involved. Do you just know in your gut, or you get a sense of, okay, chaos, coordination, chaos, coordination? Do you gentlemen see that when you go to these events with some of these teams?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely, it's easy to pick up on the ones that are just running around crazy, that, just there's no calmness, it's just craziness. And then you see the ones that are well put together and very organized. And I would say one other thing I didn't say earlier, but that makes a good team is a very diverse team. I think the teams where we're talking about engineering, Adam and I are both on the engineering side, but I think our teams that brought in, people from the art side, people from the business side, we had a very cross-functional team. Adam had a cross-functional team that, it first off, it challenged you when you were doing things because you're always used to speaking engineering talk. And, when you go do a design presentation, it helps if you have that business mindset, or you're going to do business presentations. So when you're going to get sponsors and talking to a finance person who, hey, I want money, so having a very diverse team makes you, it also adds to that, having a well-rounded team and makes you successful. But yeah, it's very easy to spot.